Hi everybody, welcome back to our cooking show, always here with my mother Franca, and today we're making a classic for Italian Carnival. Today, Ma, what are we making?
We're going to be doing a lot of chitter chattering today. Chiacchiere di Carnevale.
And we'll show you just how to make it. Coming up next,
I'll love what you eat.
So these are super simple to make. What do we have first as our dry ingredients?
We have flour, sugar, baking soda, and a pinch of salt. So in the stand mixer, we're going to be sifting the flour with the baking soda, and then we'll add the sugar and the salt and give it a whirl. And for our wet, we have 3 eggs, we have sunflower oil, and we're using sambuca. But you could use whatever liquor you have on hand. You could use grappa, rum, brandy, whiskey. There's so many other, limoncello also. So this is what we're going to be doing.
And then for the wet, we'll be pre-whisking it in a separate bowl, just to make sure that everything gets well incorporated, and then pouring that right into the stand
It
mixer.
makes it easier to pour
because
of the spout. So we're going to whisk it in like in a measuring cup.
Yeah.
And then adding it in with the dry ingredients.
We can also do this by hand, right?
Definitely, that's what we used to do. We always used to use the well method, but since I have a stand mixer, I'm gonna make it work.
It's gonna help us. We'll still finish it off by hand, but we're gonna start it off in here.
Yeah.
All right, so we will zoom in on a closer look and show you guys how this dough mixes in and get this dough to resting, which is a very quick rest.
About half an hour.
Yeah, so these are very easy to make for the carnival season, which is mid-February till the first week or so of March. It varies, right?
That's it. It varies. It differs every year because of Easter. It depends, well, like when Ash Wednesday falls in the year. But it's usually like 2 weeks in the month of February.
There you go. All right, closer look coming up. So we've let this go for about 5 minutes. You see in the previous shot that the dough has all collected. Once it was collected, we let it go for about 5 minutes from that standpoint. We opted to just continue to have this knead just fully in the KitchenAid. You can also finish it off by hand, but it collected so well that we have other things to cook and film for you guys. So we let the KitchenAid take the lead in this one. So we're just gonna give it a stop here, and this is something that's very fast to make, but it still needs a rest. How long does this need to rest for?
We're gonna wrap it up. Well, first of all, we'll form like a dough. Maybe you'll give it like a couple of kneads, and we'll wrap it up in plastic wrap, and it's gonna rest for about half hour. The time like to clean up and start to preheat the oil and that, and get ready for part 2.
Yeah, because these will be pan fried in an oil of choice, neutral oil of choice. All right, so the dough has rested for half an hour. We take this very seriously. We've laid it to rest. We just left it on the countertop. It's totally fine. And we just put a dishcloth over, just because we find that it rests better that way.
A little louder, I don't hear what you're saying.
All Italians use dishcloths to make things rest better. So that's what we did. So voila, it's rested. And so here it is. So we're just going to be, just rolling it out on a floured surface.
We'll cut them into strips and we'll roll it out.
Easier. Little sections.
Exactly.
As thin as we can.
Very, very thin. Very, very thin, because they have to like crisp up.
Yeah, you want they're light little crispy snaps. Dough snaps, that's basically what it is. And then we're going to tag team on rolling, because we need the arm strength. So any European, when you see the strong arms, well, you know it's one of these. All right, so we'll take you another closer look just to see how thin we roll these out. And then we're basically also on low heat starting to warm up our oil, because once these are rolled out, we'll be able to fry straight away. And then after we fry, we just lay them in a little basket that's lined with paper towel
to absorb the excess oil. And there's also many shapes. I mean, people do like one slit in the strip, people do like 2 slits, people do bows, they twist them, but we're just gonna keep it simple.
And we use our little trusty contraption here. When we say it's the little Western spur here.
Yeah, we call it spallone in our dialect, but it's really in Italian it's a laro.
Zigzags, so it makes nice little ridges on the dough.
Yeah,
all right, so we'll get to rolling.
If you don't have a pastry cutter, you could also use a pizza cutter or a very sharp knife.
And you can get that easily on Amazon. Those are the #1 questions we always get asked on our channel is, what did you get that? Where did you get that? Majority of what we end up getting is either passed down to us, so it's very old, generations worth, or if not, any of your kitchen appliance stores or Amazon that you can find these things. So you would type in pastry cutter or pastry roller, and then you'll find different shapes.
There we
So
go.
again, just little sections, we're eyeballing it off. We're just making it easier so that we roll them out as thin as possible and not have to work with a large piece of dough. If not, we will be taking out the tombagno. But in this case, we're just gonna do it directly on the counter.
Yeah.
And the tombagno is our kneading board. For those who haven't watched our million of other dough videos where we always take out that trusted circle wooden board.
Just gonna lightly flour. You don't want to flour it too much because you don't want too much flour when you're frying them also.
Yeah. Just so that it doesn't stick on here. And you can also dust and flour a bit your kneading, not your kneading board, your
rolling pin.
Rolling pin, exactly.
That's right, Nancy. I'm gonna try to make it into long strips. And as thin as possible.
The thinner the better, because these are basically chiacchiere, it's little, what I say snaps, that they just snap, but it's
Chiacchiere really means like
chit-chat,
chit-chat.
chatterbox.
That's right.
Like little firecracker chatterbox.
There you go. A little bit of gossip.
Yeah.
But all depending on your regions, I mean, they're called so many other names. They're called bugie, frappe, crostelli, cenci in Tuscany.
Basically, a thin little fried up piece of dough that's light and crisp.
Has to almost be like translucent.
Transparent, yeah. Like rolling out a thin pasta dough. Gotta kind of see through.
That's right.
Yeah. So your hand
I'm
through.
still gonna.
Yeah, we're still gonna go a little bit more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What we're gonna do is lay them on a baking sheet that we have here. That's just lined with a dish towel. I'm gonna put them here once they're rolled in shape.
And they fry very quickly because they're thin.
It's almost instantaneously. You'll see as soon as
There
you're
you
going to go, whoop, and then you're looking for a light golden brown. You're scooping them out with a spider whisk, and then into the basket it goes.
There you go.
Yeah, nice and thin. So I'll take you on a closer look just to see how thin this really does roll out. Get a few shaped up, and then we'll see you over stovetop. Say see you over stovetop, Mom.
See you over stovetop.
The next round, lightly flour the working surface, like my mother said, not too much because we don't want to alter the dough. And we're going for as thin as possible. And what you always want to have on hand is a mother over your shoulder, which always helps.
The circle of life. I used to have my mother always watching. What are you doing? You don't want to properly. No. No, like a Then she take the rolling out of my hands. It's like this, okay? But we thank them for teaching us so many beautiful stuff. So many beautiful sweets, pastries, cooking.
We laugh, but we love it. We would take all those memories back. Yeah. But I remember her doing that too. You just feel the presence of a parent over you. You're like, what am I doing wrong? My dad does it more often.
Yeah, he does so easily.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my god.
There you go. Okay, you're doing good.
Thanks. So I'm trying to go for, again, as thin as possible. Woo, like this. And then we are going to use this. And then what you saw my mom do is just trim off the edges, just so that she's starting with a nice kind of rectangle base. She did them in little sections, which she eyeballed. And then, like my mom said, you could do different shapes. So she chose the 1 slit. Maybe I'll try the 2 slit. Or this is where you call in your kids and say, have fun, and they'll do whatever shape they want. The importance is just having it as thin as possible. You could come back on camera. You didn't have to go anywhere. She's just watching me from far. She's just watching me.
I don't know what to do.
You could come back. It was more like a funny. I was trying to. That's funny.
That's okay.
You see, sometimes it'll end up stretching back. Just give it. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of a rest before you roll it out again, and then it ends up staying. Think of any type of dough like that, like pizza dough. You'll go stretch the pizza dough, and then you turn around and you see that it shrunk in your pan. Give it a rest and stretch it out again. You saw my mom just roll it once. I'm gonna try and do two since I got mine rolled out a little bit more. I'm gonna do two little ones like that. So same thing that my mom did, but just spacing in between. A little one here, space, and a little one. A little one, space, and a little one. So they end up looking, I'll show you. Like that. Little one, space, and a little one.
There you go.
Two little holes. You see, I'll bring you closer. Hold on. Here you go. Just like that. Okay.
There you go.
All right, we're gonna put them on the pan. We'll get this finished off, and then we will get to frying.
Yeah, and the oil has to be very, very hot because I mean, once you put them in, you want those bubbles.
All right, so I have my mom frying off in the back, because like we were just saying off camera, but I'll say it here. You want to do this in a team because they cook off fast. You don't want the dough stretched out to be resting for too long because it does kind of shrink back. You want to get these as paper thin as possible. So a bench scraper is really good at lifting them up. So I'll show you again just how thin we want to get these. Because as soon as we plop them in the oil, I mean, 15 seconds, she's turning them over. Within 30 seconds, they're almost out straight away, for as thin as you get them. Yep, and when she's done, like she just said, she removes it off the heat.
Waiting for the next touch.
Yeah. You want them to bubble and crisp up straight away when they hit the oil.
They might be a little bit soft, but no worries. Once they cool off, they'll crisp up.
Yeah. My father came before and he went over my mother's shoulder, so I missed it off camera, but I'm gonna keep it rolling in case he does it again. I swear he came and he did.
He's looking for rejects all the time.
Because around this time, usually there's a batch of something done. So funny. When you think it's thin enough, go a little bit more. So they're all fried up, as you can see, as thin as possible, super, super thin. As soon as they hit the oil, they will start to bubble, and you want to get them as thin as possible. And then you end up hearing the little crack. That's basically what they are, cracking goodness. Oh yeah, they're crack.
Delicious.
They're so good. The kids will love these. So we usually end up dusting them, right?
Yes, definitely.
So we're gonna dust them with some powdered sugar.
There you go.
And as mentioned, these are a classic. Now you know that the recipe usually stays standard, the same. People change a few things, but you don't want to mess with something that is a classic and so good. You see these year after year. It is because they are so good and such a classic.
They've been around for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So they gotta be good. Voila.
That's it.
There you go.
We hope you guys give this a try. I might try one.
Oh,
I tried
I
one
know.
plain. So good.
Yep.
They're light. Even though they're fried, they're not greasy at all because
No.
they fry for seconds. You saw how fast it is.
Yeah, literally seconds.
Seconds out. Any excess oil gets absorbed in the paper towel that's lined in a basket. And then you wait for them to cool, dust your powdered sugar, and enjoy. And they're not a crumble mess. However, if you do drop one, which I did prior, boy do they shatter. So we did good rolling them out thin. We hope you guys give this one a try. Tune in weekly for new content. And don't forget to visit our website where you can see all these step-by-step visuals at www.loveyoue.net, where every new video will be within the next day uploaded on the website. So for those of you who are visual and like the picture step-by-steps, and that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Anything else?
No, that's it. We're ready to eat.
We're gonna continue.
Chiacchiere, bugie, depending on where you come from, frappe, but they're delicious.
Yeah, we'll continue to enjoy the goodness and start making our next video for you guys. So weekly content every Sunday, and until then, continue to
Love what you eat.
Bye for now.
Ciao, buon carnevale a tutti.
Okay. Let's go give some to my father now. Bye.